We've been gone a long time. We back now.
You twins?
Nah, we cousins.
Damn fine cup of coffee.
Indeed.
Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Ninja Coffee. I am KH.
And I am Super Paul.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about a very cool movie we watched recently.
The movie is called Sinners, and it's showing in theaters right now.
Alright!
Alright. Directed by Ryan Coogler, the director behind Creed and Black Panther. Starring from Creed, Michael B. Jordan, Hailey Steinfeld,
Delroy Lindo.
Yep, Jack O'Connell, and Miles O'Caton.
Yeah. Very nice. So, Paul, just tell our audience very briefly what this movie is about.
So the movie is about two World War I veterans returning home, trying to leave behind their troubled past.
Yeah, that's all you need to know for now.
Basically.
Yeah. And normally we stumble into spoilers and stuff. So if you're watching this video and you haven't seen the movie, I think it's a good thing that we just tell our audience whether they should watch it or not. So, Paul, would you recommend anyone seeing this movie in the theaters?
Well, having a Hollywood drowning in IPs and franchises like MCU and Fast and Furious, this is something new. It's fresh. It's original. It's a damn fine movie.
Yeah,
2 thumbs up.
I agree. In a time where it's like creative bankruptcy in Hollywood, this is something different and something you absolutely should watch, like with good sound and in the theaters.
Yeah.
So same here, 2 thumbs up. Go watch it. Now, if you have already watched the movie and you're still here, we're gonna probably head into spoilers very quickly because it's a very difficult movie to talk about without going into spoilers and kind of without deep diving.
Yeah.
Okay. So
story, like I said, it's about 2 brothers trying to leave behind their troubled past.
yeah, it's 2 twin brothers coming back to Mississippi after having been in Chicago and done some shady business, basically.
Yeah. And
And why are they coming back to their hometown?
yeah, they're trying to open a juke joint. And to do this, they are gathering the right people for the jobs.
Yeah.
And with them, they have their cousin, the preacher boy, and Sammy, and this old blues musician played by Delroy Lindo.
And yeah, I mean that's basically the plot of the story. We're gonna go deep diving in spoiler territory, but why don't we just what's our next point? What do you want to start?
Should we talk about the characters, or should we just dive into
Interesting, because we can talk about the characters first, maybe.
Yeah, so the twins are played by Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan.
True.
Okay, they're both played by Michael B. Jordan.
And, I mean, he does a great job playing both these characters.
Absolutely, he nails them both, and he's so good. He played like you can tell difference between the brothers. He plays 2 different characters, and he does it so well.
They have different personalities, and you can distinguish them in the movie. Like, you know who is in what scene. And also, some really cool things, like details with these twins. One is a little bit more softer and more maybe emotional. The other is a bit more rough and hard core.
Yeah, he had to take care of his little brother.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So it all makes sense. And I just want to mention the first scene of the movie. I mean, not the first scene of the movie, but the first scene with the brothers.
Yeah.
When they're smoking, and like the one brother is smoking, and then he just gives the smoke to the next twin, and they don't need to look at each other. The twin,
they are so in sync.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he just knows, and that was just really cool. Amazing performance by Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. So, and then we mentioned his cousin, Sammy, the preacher boy.
Miles Catton. This is his first movie ever.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
He almost steal. I mean, if it wasn't for Michael B. Jordan, he would have stolen the show.
Yeah. And his acting is amazing, and the movie has a lot of musical elements to it, and it's not a musical, but it has its elements, and his acting, his voice, he's absolutely...
I would never have guessed that this was his first movie. Very, very well acted. Who else do we have before we continue into I want to talk more about the music and stuff, but we'll come back to it.
Yeah, you have Haley Steinfeld. She's in the movie, one of the main characters. But plot-wise, she's... What
did you think of Delroy Lindo?
Yeah, he like, I'm used to seeing him as this badass
cop.
Cop guy.
It was a very different role.
Yeah. And here he's like this old, washed out blues guy. Like he works for alcohol.
Yeah.
That says.
But it was so cool to see him in a movie again. I don't think I've seen him since probably Gone in 60 Seconds.
Romeo Must Die.
Yeah.
No, I think he was amazing, and I don't remember his name now, but this big guy, he used to play in a TV show Ballers with The Rock. His voice and Raph in the Rise of TMNT. He played
Cornfield.
Cornbread.
Cornbread.
Yeah. He was amazing. I love that guy.
You know, the first time we see him in the movie, I was like, oh, is that Forrest Whitaker? I was like, nah.
No.
A lot of good acting performances, a lot of good stars in the movie.
Yeah, I won't... the next characters, I won't introduce them until we have jumped right into...
the spoiler territory. So, I mean, we mentioned the brothers. They've worked in Chicago. They've come back to the town. So we can probably head into the juicy parts.
Yeah, so you have this young kid, Miles, played by Miles Catton, Sammy. He's a preacher boy, but his passion is in music, and but it's not like he prefers blues over the
church music.
So, and it's told in the beginning of the movie that some musicians are so good that they can conjure back souls of old musicians and future musicians, and
like to break the veil of reality and bring in all
bring them all together.
Yeah,
but by doing so, you also attracts evil.
Yeah,
this gift can bring fame and fortune.
Will somebody take me in your eyes?
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
And this is where the movie takes like a from dusk to dawn kind of twist.
Yeah, that's you can't watch this movie without thinking from dusk till dawn.
No, so it goes from a period piece set in the 30s to a hardcore vampire movie, and
Absolutely. And it has the same structure as well as From Dusk Till Dawn.
One night is all that stands between them and freedom.
Now, this is my kind of place.
But it's going to be one hell of a night.
The first part of the movie is really serious, a lot of drama, and I could have watched that movie alone.
It starts as a slow burn, but it's still you get invested in the characters, and speaking of the juke joint, the place the brothers buy they buy it from the KKK, and instead of going the vampire route, it could have been the KKK coming back for them. So it would be just as good without the vampires.
You could have gone many different directions with the plot. You could have had that, like instead of the vampires, it could have been the KKK towards the end of the movie, or you could have never had that crazy, like 180 or twist, and you could have had a whole movie about one night at a jukebox, and I would still be invested.
Yeah, and speaking of the music, again, Ryan Coogler, he works with the same people. So you have Ludwig Göransson, who made the music for Creed, Black Panther, and also Mandalorian. Yeah, he's maybe today's best movie composer.
Yeah,
if
you
look
John
at
Williams of today.
Yeah, he's the John Williams of today. He basically took over Star Wars. So.
Yeah, actually.
And his music is
it's amazing.
It's amazing, and
this movie would not work without the music.
No, absolutely not. It's not a musical, but the musical elements of the movie is so damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's integrated perfectly with the story as well. Like, as you said in the beginning, they say, like, some musicians are so talented that they... I mean, it's about music. It's about the historical aspect,
racism and KKK, and, of course, the vampires.
And the horror. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't imagine a movie being able to kind of mix those three things so perfectly together.
It's stunning. It's beautiful. Like, visually, it's an amazing movie. But going back to the vampire aspect of the movie, you have Jack O'Connell, who plays the vampire Remick.
Yeah. Irish vampire.
Yeah, and he used a pot of gold.
Oh, we heard tale of a party. This world already left you for dead. I can save you from your fate.
You don't need no saving.
Yes, you do.
And what did you think of the vampires being like Irish, and it also like blended in that Irish folk music, and then you had the blues on the other side?
To take blues and Irish folk music and combining the two, like,
it was perfect.
There are two really good musical numbers in the movie, and that's the one where he uses blues to conjure
the club scene.
Yeah, that is. I think it's one of the best musical numbers I've seen in a movie in, I don't know.
Did you think it was strange at first when you saw like these old souls, and then like the guy with the guy with the guitar comes in?
I still had the intro in mind, so it made sense to me. And then you have the vampires with the Irish folk music, and
it was amazing. It was really, really good. Just one thing to mention with the club scene, with the musical, when he plays and everyone comes together in that scene. I thought it was strange at first, but then it was so well done. And I think if you'd had a less talented director doing that same thing, it could have become very weird and not as good. But Ryan Coogler is a very gifted and competent director, and that's why all of these things work. You wouldn't believe a historical piece would mix with like a vampire movie and a musical aspect, but it does. It's strange, but it does. Okay, also, since we talked about some aspects of the story and From Dusk Till Dawn comparisons.
Yeah, you had another movie in mind as well.
Yeah. I have different movies. One is From Dusk Till Dawn. And kind of in the same way there where you have these people inside the club and then everything goes crazy. There's another movie which I was thinking of, and that's Demon Knight from help me out.
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. And I had a lot of parallels from Demon Knight, because in Demon Knight you have this very charismatic demon lord or demon leader, and they do like this...
Billy Zane?
Billy Zane. Billy Insane.
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers! All you have to do is give me the goddamn key! And we could get on with our lives!
And when they come to this house, when they're looking for this thing they're trying to get hold of, the characters in the movie, they do this ritual so the evil cannot enter the house. So Billy Zane is trying to convince them, and they have to do all these.
And this is where they had the pot of gold.
Yeah. And it draws on this real. It takes the vampire lore, where vampires aren't allowed into your house unless they get invited. I thought it did that so really cool, and it's such a funny way.
Yeah,
it becomes comedic even.
Yeah, because you had the big guy, Cornbread.
Yeah,
he's playing the
bouncer.
The bouncer, and he's been turned.
Yeah,
and he's been going in and out of the place.
The whole evening.
And all of a sudden he's like, hey, why won't you guys invite me?
Invite me in.
Let me in. Hey, you've been coming in and out here. What?
Why are you asking us to invite you in? What's going on? Yeah. And then the vampire as well, when the Irish people, before they're vampires, before the people in the club know they're vampires, they come and hey, can we join the party? We just want to play some music. We want to have a good time.
We're not KKK.
yeah. And because, two of the members of
they
were actually KKK.
Yeah.
But it was just so really... I haven't seen... you've seen a lot of movies where they mention that the vampires need to be invited. And if you remember Lost Boys...
Yeah.
They did that thing where the leader can't enter the house and they have to invite him in. But I have never seen it done in such a brilliant way as in this movie. So that kind of made me think of Demon Knight, because they pour some liquid around the house so the demons can't enter. But From Dusk Till Dawn, it's, as we said, it reminds you of From Dusk Till Dawn. This movie does something though in the first scene which makes it a little bit different, because when you watched the first time I watched From Dusk Till Dawn, I thought it was like an action thriller.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It was two brothers on the run, and
two brothers on the run, two brothers on the run.
Yeah, so it's not that original, but still it's original.
It's original, but I can't imagine. It's almost. I'm sure Ryan Coogler is a fan of From Dusk Till Dawn, right? He has to be. But when you watch From Dusk Till Dawn the first time, you don't know there's anything supernatural going on. But the first scene in this movie, what did you think about that?
Yeah, it kind of gives away, because the movie.
Tell the audience about the scene.
Yeah, the movie starts with the end of the movie. So you have preacher boy Sammy returning home to the church after this evening at the juke joint, and you can see him scratched up, bloody. His clothes are torn, and flashback. Yeah, there's flashbacks, and you can see that there's something evil.
Some evil entity.
Yeah,
because you see something jumping off a rooftop, and you have some red eyes and clawing and stuff. Did you know? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they give away that there's something supernatural about the movie. But
did you know it was vampires?
Yeah, I knew it was a vampire movie from the get-go, but still, okay, the movie gives away maybe, but still, as soon as the movie begins, you kind of
forget about it.
You forget about it. So
that scene wouldn't be in the movie if this movie came out 20 years ago. No. I think it's a very...
It's left there in the movie because today's audience, the TikTok generation, they can't focus.
Yeah.
So you need something to draw them in from the...
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And also, if you think this movie is going to hit streaming, you want this movie to, draw people in, as you say, and people to watch the whole movie and not just, watch 2 minutes and then... this is a drama movie about...
This is what I was...
Yeah, exactly. So that is just a creative decision to keep people invested. And if you didn't see that scene, you would have not known this was a horror movie.
No.
So that's the only minor, tiny complaint I have about the movie.
I agree.
At the same time, it doesn't really harm anything or do any... As you say, once the movie starts, you kind of forget about it. And it also gives away that Sammy's going to survive.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't know that, you wouldn't know if there will be any survivors before the night is over. Also, the whole movie is just about this one night. And I love the way the first half of the movie, as we mentioned, is almost like a drama movie, and they're talking to the right people to get them to help them with the juke joint. And the whole movie is just one night, and that's really cool. It is also kind of a very classical horror thing. Like, will the characters survive the night?
And that's the good thing about the first half of the movie, because you get so invested that when
people start dying,
you're like, no, why him?
Yeah. And when was the last time you thought that in a horror movie?
Usually I'm like, I just want to see them all
die in a brutal manner. Exactly. So there are so many clever decisions and smart things in the movie. It's perfect. Yeah, and
the end of the movie, what do you think?
Ooh, yeah. So they're different endings. It's like
the movie ends three times.
Yeah. For me, it's like a really fast-paced car chase.
Yeah.
And then the car is slowing down and driving into the driveway slowly. That's the ending. So at first you have the night ending, and then you have a conclusion to the whole Ku Klux Klan part, because the brothers buy the joint from the leader of the Ku Klux Klan in that area, and the Ku Klux Klan guy was always planning to come back the next day and kill them all. And halfway through the movie, they mentioned this, but I was like, okay, but I didn't expect us to get a conclusion to that.
No.
But we get a very satisfying conclusion to that story arc. And so that's ending 2.
Yeah, because the first ending is Preacher Boy returning home.
Yeah, he survives.
Yeah. And then you have the third ending, which is like... It's like a mid-credit scene, but it's not
like
your
a
typical
Marvel
MCU
bullshit post-credit scene.
It's a full scene. It's not just something to tease what's coming, because this is hopefully it's
exactly.
It gives the mid-credit scene. It gives a satisfied ending to
absolutely. It ends the whole thing. You don't need any more after this.
And it's Preacher Boy in the 90s. He's an
old,
successful blues singer.
And he is based on... What's his name? Robert Leroy Johnson, who was a famous blues musician. And it's interesting because, in the beginning of the movie, his father tells him, hey, son, if you play the devil music, or if you hang around the devil might come home with you or something. And Robert Johnson, there were rumors, or his legend is that he sold his soul to the devil to become so talented as a musician. And this is again a relevant part of the story here. So he's older. We're in the 90s, and two people enter the scene.
Yeah. So there's two of the vamps
who
survived.
I mean, we are in the spoilers section of the video, so one of the brothers survive.
Yeah, and they come back for him after all these years, but it's not for revenge.
No,
they just want to be reminded about the past, the good old days where music was.
And they're a fan of his music as well.
Yeah.
All his
they've been following him all these years.
And there's one part in particular in that scene which gave me goosebumps.
Mm.
It's like when they sit and share a drink and talk, and it's like, because you've seen the whole movie and what happened and how things went down, it's kind of satisfying to see them sit together as friends again. But then as it's Smoke who's leaving, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
one
of the twins.
One of the twins. And as they're leaving, Sammy's like, hey, wait up. So, just want to ask you a question. Like, for me, that one night before things went bad was the best night of my life. Was it like that for you? And, like, they all agree that was the best night of their life. And, like, I think that's something, like, a lot of people can maybe even, like, relate to. And, that was a very cool and emotional scene, and also like a complete ending to the whole arc. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
And as you said before, we don't need a sequel to this.
No.
Please don't make a sequel to this.
Leave it be.
Yeah. So we've talked about the characters, the plot, the music. Anything else you want to go into?
No, I think we've covered...
probably everything important. So final words. I think this movie is top notch in everything.
It's a good period piece.
How would you rate this if you were gonna like put it in your favorite vampire movies, or I don't know, like
I was in a place a couple of months ago where I was rewatching a lot of old vampire movies, like Bela Lugosi Dracula, Frank Langella's Dracula, Christopher Lee, like
all the classic
ones. Interview with the Vampire and Shadow of the Vampire, Nosferatu, and all these movies. Blade. I tried to like figure out what is the best vampire movie, and it was really hard to kind of decide, because Blade is it's an action movie. Dracula is
it's old.
So it was kind of hard to decide. But after watching this movie, I knew
this is your favorite, or among your favorites.
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing. And like I said, it's a good period movie, a musical movie. It's not a musical, but with musical elements. It's a great horror movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't rely too much on CGI.
Which the effects.
Which today's horror movies usually rely on. It's practical effects, and
and that shows. That always shows.
Everything is just done so.
Yeah.
Amazing with this movie.
I agree. Would you put this in your top 5 vampire movies then?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Top 3?
Yeah, I think I would go that far.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. When I walked out of the cinema, I was not thinking the same way you were thinking, like, was this among the best vampire movies I have seen? I was thinking, I think this is probably the best movie I have seen
Absolutely.
for the last at least 4 or 5 years.
Comic book movies have ruined the way we watch movies
100%.
today. Everything has to be a blockbuster. Everything has to be big. I agree with Martin Scorsese when he says it's a roller coaster ride. You watch the movie, you enjoy it while you're there, but as soon as you forget it as soon as you leave.
Absolutely.
But this movie, it's
a proper movie.
Yeah, it's a proper movie, and it's exactly what movies need right now.
Yeah, it's what we need.
Rating, where would you?
But just like on the whole, you said it's just a good movie overall, and I agree. I think even if you're not into vampire or horror movies, you're still gonna enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I think so.
And when they were in the club, for example, it's so well done. Like, I didn't feel it was a movie. I felt I was in that club. And everything is top notch. The music, the visuals, just before I come to the rating. And when we come to the horror, it's so satisfying because the build-up has been so good. This, I would give it, 2 thumbs up. But if we're going even deeper, if we're giving it a score out of 10, if it hadn't been for the first scene, it would have been a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and that's just the nitpicking.
I agree.
Yeah?
That one scene brings it down to a 9.
Yeah. Still the best movie I've seen in years.
Absolutely.
So, that's my final words and you're also on a 9?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. And
an absolutely must see. And do it in theaters, not...
Don't
wait
till streaming.
Yeah.
This, you want to watch this in the cinema.
Yeah, you need this sound and the visuals. You need to watch it on the big screen.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, I think that sums it up.
It does.
So, thanks for tuning in, guys. And as we mentioned, go watch this movie. It's going to be a long time until we get another movie like this. Take care. See you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.